We wrote a song called The Bottom Line and a few other titles. And then we wrote Ironic, was the first song that we wrote together that wound up being on the album. And this song was more sort of philosophical in some ways, him and I just kind of riffing philosophically. I was born in Ottawa, Canada. I am a twin. My brother is 12 minutes older than me. My parents are both teachers. I pretty much grew up in a family full of very passionate alphas, and my role in the family was very much to be the therapist and the objective eye.
Alanis Morrissette has also done her share of acting, and actually began her career on the paradoxically named kids' variety series You Can't Do That on Television.
You mean you made us get all worried and put on these tacky helmets, and now you've become a communist? I don't know. Alistair, you did that on purpose. Now I will hate you.
Alan and Georgia Morrissette have been on Alanis' career plans from the beginning.
We're really enjoying it, kind of the ride, if you wish, along. And just our basic purpose is to try to make sure that the right people are surrounding Alanis, and we're in that being able to choose who those people are.
You know, so we tried our best, and I think all kinds of things combined with, you know, good song, and I guess I was young and stuff. My dad's like, I don't like that.
Problems over the weekend.
And while she may make lunch for her father,
I'm the big gourmet chef.
that doesn't mean she can win him over on everything.
I'm going to Florida for Christmas.
Like her plan to join schoolmates on a trip down south.
And the album of the year is Jagged Little Pill. Alanis Morrissette.
Thank you. All I can say is I love you, Glenn. And I actually accept this on behalf of anyone who's ever written a song from a very pure place, very spiritual place. And there's plenty of room for a lot of artists, so there's no such thing as the best. And thank you very much, Glenn.
There was something about being dropped by MCA Records that was inspiring. There's something about when things are challenging or difficult, there's this alchemical grind that I get into, this kind of soldier mode of pure passion. I won't stop until I meet someone who appreciates how I write. I won't stop until my vocals and this whole record is something that I would want to listen to. And I think I just had the confidence knowing that there was nothing left to lose.
We recorded the songs right after we wrote them in the same day, in the same evening. 80% of the record is the original demos. Vocals are all 1 or 2 takes. We weren't trying to be too precious about everything. We didn't want to go over everything with a fine-tooth comb and lose any of the spirit.
We wrote a song called The Bottom Line and a few other titles. And then we wrote Ironic, was the first song that we wrote together that wound up being on the album. And this song was more sort of philosophical in some ways, him and I just kind of riffing philosophically. So it wasn't wildly autobiographical. I just remember thinking, okay, as much as I love the entertainment part, I really need to, there's this existential imperative to start writing about what was really going on for me. So once we wrote Ironic and recorded it, I felt like musically Glenn had already hit his stride. And I was just kind of getting into the idea of feeling safe writing about my own story. It was pretty scary, the thought of being that transparent about what was going on in my life. As a young person, I was not allowed to feel sadness, I was not allowed to feel anger, and I was not allowed to feel afraid.
The song writes itself anyway, so I don't have much of a say.
These songs have always felt channeled, as though it just kind of careens right through me, almost violently sometimes, to the point where I'm really exhausted after writing. And then we're done, and I play it back sometimes the next day, and I rarely remember having written them. Sometimes I'll go into a studio with a line or a preconceived idea of what I might want the song to touch on, but 50% of the time I have no idea going in, and I will bring my journal, I'll bring my journals and I'll flip through the pages and see if something jumps out at me. And people were singing You Ought to Know when we came to perform it, louder than I couldn't even hear myself. They were singing the lyrics so loudly, word for word. And within a couple of months, we went from 100-seaters to stadiums or arenas. It was a really quick shift overnight.
Thank you.